Alright guys, you're going to be doing this assignment. There's only 25 multiple choice questions. Biggest thing to remember when you're doing it, anything on the line. So if you have a point anywhere on it, that means you are currently operating efficiently, that you're using all of your resources as best you can. Any point outside the line is currently unattainable. You cannot make it happen. It is impossible. Currently. You could achieve it at some point in the future if you have more resources, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, or if you have greater efficiency. Technology, for example, will often do this, and it can make the curve expand outwards until you wind up hitting that point that's out there. Any point inside the line means you're operating inefficiently. You could be operating on the line, but you're not. You're inefficient. You're underutilizing your resources. All right? And if your curve contracts inward, like so, that means you're losing resources for some reason. Plague, war, something like that. Okay? Now, and one thing I want to point out on this real quick is that when you have a curve that is bowed outwards, that is from the origin point here, that's bowed out, what that means is the opportunity cost increases. Like let's say we go from a point of production there to a point of production right there. We get that much more of this one, but we only lose a little bit over here. But let's say we go from here to here. Now we only get a little bit of this one, but we have to lose a whole lot more on that side. The opportunity cost increases. If you see a straight line like this, what that means is the opportunity cost is constant. You're going to be giving up equal amounts along the board. Typically, you'll see this if you're comparing two different things that use very, very similar resources. For example, let's say that we're using lettuce and cabbage. All right. So lettuce and cabbage are practically the same. I know they're not, but they use the same resources to produce, which means it doesn't matter how much cabbage we make, we're going to give up the same amount of lettuce. Whereas if you have something like, let's say apples and iPhones, well, those use very different resources. So in order to make more of one, we're using resources that are great for apples and trying to use them to make iPhones, and that doesn't work out. Right? Or use resources that are great for iPhones and try to make apples out of them, and that's not going to work. So that means that the more of one you try to make, you have to give up more and more greater amounts of the other one in order to be able to get a little bit. Okay, so hopefully, based on what we talked about before and this, you have enough information to be able to answer these questions.